Greetings! In this video, I am going to be talking about Branson, Missouri. And I know it doesn't look like Branson, Missouri outside my balcony right now. I'm coming to you from a beautiful island in the Caribbean. But 3 weeks ago, I was in Branson, Missouri for a week. And it was a jam-packed week with lots of different shows and productions, and one really fun activity that I'm going to share here. If you've never been there, it'll give you some insight as to what Branson's all about. And if you're looking for a very inexpensive vacation, either for you and a loved one or a friend, or you want to take your whole family, stay to the end, because I'm going to share at the end this little hidden gem that I found in Branson, where you can get half price or 2-for-1 tickets to most of the shows and amusement park type attractions and a lot of the museums and interactive type fun museums that are there. I'm going to share with you how you can get some discount tickets without having to sit through a timeshare presentation. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Debbie Morton. I am a widowed nomad traveler. I sold everything, and for the last year and a half, I've been traveling around the world. You can see some of my other locations on this channel if you'd like to get some different ideas of where you might want to travel, or if you want some different insights on how to get through some of the challenges in your life. I invite you to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave any questions or comments below. So let's dive into a bunch of different shows and activities that you can do. This trip was a little bit different for me. Normally, I am a solo traveler, and this trip I was there with a friend. So it's kind of fun because I got to go back to things I've seen before, as well as try a few new things. I'm going to start out with the magic shows, or the illusionists that were there. There were two of them. There are several that you can choose from, but there were two of them that we saw. The first one is a young man named Reza, and I love Reza's show. He's young. He's in his late 20s. He's been doing magic and illusions almost all of his life. His show is bigger than life. When he is on stage, he's got just these massive contraptions, and he does just some unbelievable things on stage. And then he also does some things that are close up. But what I love about Reza is, for the young age that he is, he commands the audience, and he does it in a very humble way. And he'll interact with the audience at times and have conversations. And I just love how he's got this quiet, humble demeanor, and then he just blows you away with what he does on stage. So I highly recommend seeing Reza if you love a good magic show with lots of illusions. The second illusionist that we saw is Rick Thomas, and very different show. He still has amazing, amazing illusions. Maybe not as grand as Reza, but they're still incredible. And actually, my friend and I got to go up on stage during Rick Thomas's show, which I guess makes me feel like I'm a little bit like a magician now. But anyways, the thing I love about Rick Thomas's show, not only did I love the illusions and the magic, but I also love the positive message that he weaves throughout the show, all about following your dreams, believing in your dreams, and he weaves that message throughout the show. And if you follow me on this channel, you'll know that that's a huge message of mine as well. So for that reason, I absolutely love Rick Thomas. And you can't go wrong with either one of those magicians or illusionists. If you have an opportunity and you love magic, I recommend doing both. Moving on to variety, I highly recommend the Haygoods. It is a family of, I think, 4 brothers and a sister. Might be wrong, it could be 5 brothers and a sister. Anyways, this is the most talented family I think I have ever seen. You're going to get a variety of music, everything from a harp, a beautiful harp songs, country, rock and roll, gospel. You're going to get a variety of everything from slow to fast. It's a very high energy show. You're going to get lights and smoke and neon and people coming down on a wire onto the stage. And it actually started out like right next to me. We were sitting first row of the balcony. It's an amazing show, variety show. And I would say anybody who goes to Branson, Haygoods is definitely one you're going to want to see. There were a few other musical shows that we saw while we were there. We saw the Anthems of Rock, and the Anthems of Rock doesn't headline any particular person or family or anything like that. It is a stage full of incredibly talented performers that will wow you for 2 hours with songs that you're familiar with, the hits going back to the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's all bands and artists that you will recognize, sung by various members of this entertainment troupe. There's lots of dancing and singing, and it's high energy. Honestly, I wanted to get up out of my seat and dance. I wanted to sing along to all of the songs. There are definitely things that you'll recognize. So if you want a high energy music type concert with a whole variety of bands and different people, then Anthems of Rock is one that you'll definitely enjoy. Another musical group that we saw is Pierce Arrow. Pierce Arrow is 4 men coming together with just some incredible harmony and great music. I've seen them before. They have two different shows. They have a country music themed show, and they have a rock and roll music themed show. Their show is all music. It's the 4 of them. Sometimes one of them will sing a solo, but there's 4 guys. They're amazing. And I would say whether you prefer country or you prefer rock and roll, they're both incredible shows. What I love about Pierce Arrow also is they have this incredibly funny comedian who opens up the show, and he comes out throughout the show. He's got this dry sense of humor, and he's hysterical. And so if you go to see Pierce Arrow, you're not only going to get several hours of just great music, but you're also going to have this comedy act interspersed throughout the show. I have seen Pierce Arrow in the past, and what I will also say is it's been probably 3 years since I saw Pierce Arrow's country show, and it was a different show this time. So if you've seen a performer or an artist in the past, don't be afraid to go back. If you loved it the first time, you'll love it the second time, and it's very possible it'll be a whole different lineup of music. We saw 2 different musicians that are really, they are the primary focus of the show, and then they bring in additional talent. In both cases, they would bring in members of their family who are incredibly talented. They would also bring in other artists that are incredibly talented. And those 2 shows, the first one is Clay Cooper. And Clay Cooper is a variety of music, mostly songs that, again, you're going to recognize the music. He's got other performers who come on stage to perform various songs. His son was singing a few of the songs. He's incredibly talented. And what I love about Clay Cooper, not only is the music part of the entertainment is incredible, I love his personality. He is very funny, and he interacts a lot with the audience, brings audience up on stage, and he's funny, not at the expense of somebody, but together with people. And he just does it in a very loving and kind way. And it's just a great variety of the comedy mixed together with the music. And his personality absolutely makes that show something that you don't want to miss. It's a really, really good show. So Clay Cooper, I highly recommend as well. And finally, Branson does attract an older crowd, and sometimes it's tough driving at night. It's windy, mountainous roads. Some people don't want to go to a show at night, and there are lots of different shows that are matinees. Well, we did go see a performer named Doug Gabriel, And the cool thing about Doug Gabriel is his show is in the morning. It's at 10 a.m. And it's actually kind of weird going to see a show at 10 a.m. that you would normally see late at night. But Doug Gabriel's show is amazing. He's been performing forever. He shares a lot of his personal story throughout the show, so it makes it very personal. And he's very interactive again with the audience. He's very approachable. This is a picture of me and Doug during the intermission. And he also has a son that's really, really funny. So he also has a lot of comedy in his show. So if you don't want to go out late at night, and if you do want an incredible variety show, a variety show that has lots of different great music, he combines a little country, a little rock and roll, a little gospel. There's just a little bit of everything in his show. Doug Gabriel, earlier in the day, is a great choice. And finally, I'm going to talk about comedy. And once again, wait till the end because I'm going to show you where you can get a killer deal on tickets for all of these different things that I am mentioning. But the last thing I want to talk about is comedy. There's some comedy mixed in with a lot of these different shows. But if you want just comedy, Yakov. Yakov Smirnov is a Russian comedian who moved to America many, many years ago. And he loves this country. And you'll find when you go to Yakov, a lot of it is patriotic. A lot of his humor is about America and politics. He does have another performer who comes on stage and does a few acts with him. And also this gentleman performs a few things on his own. And together they just make an incredibly fun night of comedy that will have you laughing. And one of the things I didn't realize about Yakov is he's also an incredible artist. And he has a whole gallery of his paintings that you can see and purchase if you want. I also didn't realize that he had done a huge mural after 9/11, and he actually did it anonymously at the time, and he kind of tells that story when you go to see his performance. I absolutely loved the comedy of Yakov. I've been to Branson. This was, I think, my 5th time there, and this is the first time I was able to see him. In the past, our schedules don't line up. He doesn't perform every night of the week. Our schedules don't line up. At one point, his theater had been destroyed, and he wasn't performing. And so I was really excited that I got to see and enjoy a night of laughter with Yakov. One of the things that I love about Branson is they recognize veterans in every single performance. No matter what show you're seeing, at some point in that performance, whether it's in the beginning or in the middle, they will have veterans stand up and we will recognize the veterans. And quite often it's also first responders, firemen, policemen. They are all about recognizing people who have served the community and served our country. If you are watching this and you are a veteran, I want to say thank you to you for your service to our country. If you're a first responder, I want to say thank you as well. And to the families of those individuals. I know it's not easy when your loved one is out serving our country or serving a community and putting their lives on the line. And I want to say thank you as well to the family members as well as those individuals serving our country. And that's one of the things I do truly love about Branson is every show you will see the veterans acknowledged. Here's another thing that we did that wasn't a musical type of show or comedy show. We rode the Copperhead Mountain roller coaster, which goes down a mountain. And there are several of these downhill coasters in Branson. The one we rode was Copperhead, and it is so much fun. You can either sit one person to the little car or you can put 2 people in the car. And before I started out down the track, I asked the gentleman who was getting me all strapped in and making sure everything was safe. I asked him if I could not apply the brakes. Would I be safe? Like, can I go full out down the hill? And he's like, not only do we encourage it, Or not only can you go full out, we encourage it. Like that'll be the ride of your life. And so I never hit the brakes. If you don't like a lot of speed downhill, you can apply the brakes and go down through the course at a speed that you're comfortable with. I never touched the brakes. So I went screaming down the hill at about 35 miles an hour. You go through beautiful forest, you go around curves. It is a blast. So if you like thrill rides, those downhill coasters are amazing. There's also in Branson, I'll also say there's just so much to do. You've got a lake that you can do water sports on. You've got amusement type rides, roller coasters, Ferris wheels. There's tons of stuff in Branson for every member of the family. I love caves. I've been through, I think, all of the caves in that area. So that's another thing that you can do. Here's the activity that you can't get a discount ticket for. And I do it every single time I'm in Branson because I love it that much. And that is a trip to a place called Top of the Rock. And Top of the Rock is owned by the man who started the Bass Pro Shop. It has a beautiful golf course. It has a couple of restaurants, a casual dining restaurant and a fine dining restaurant. There's a gorgeous chapel that sits out on the property, and I've been there. I think this was my 5th time. It was the first time that I was actually able to go inside that chapel. So I'm going to include some pictures of the inside of that chapel, just in case you go there and you're not able to actually walk all the way out there. They have a lot of special events there and they shut it down. There's a huge museum there that will take you on the history of the Ozarks from the dawn of time, the Indians that have occupied a lot of their artifacts, all the way through the Civil War, all the way up to present day. And it's just an amazing museum that I've now been through twice, and it was incredible both times I went through it. It's huge, and it's just an incredible museum. Here's what I love most about Top of the Rock. There's a shuttle that goes back and forth between the area I just described and another place where you can rent an electric golf cart, and you can drive that golf cart on a 2-mile course. And it goes down into a canyon, it goes through forests, it goes across bridges and waterfalls. It's amazing. It's so much fun. There's beautiful views and vistas. There is they call it the Bat Cave, and you kind of go into a cave and drive around like water where there's a waterfall. I don't think it's a real cave. It's all like a Disneyland type of thing. And before you go into the cave, there's a bat bar. So you can stop and get something to drink along the way, whether you want an alcoholic beverage or you want a water, because you're now partway through this ride, especially if it's a hot day. And so I highly recommend this golf cart. I do it every single time I'm there. And one of the cool things, if you're watching this video in the future, several years back, there was a sinkhole that happened overnight, and it took out the driving range on this piece of property. So they've moved the driving range, and then the owner brought in surveyors, and they discovered that there was just a huge amount of rock formations under the dirt where this sinkhole happened. And so they've spent the last several years excavating this entire area. And in the future, the plan is to take the golf cart down through this freshly excavated area where there's incredible rock formation. You can see the rock formations and the canyon that's being excavated. And I can't wait to go back in the future and be able to ride that golf cart and not only do the forest and the bridges and the waterfalls, but also go down through this newly discovered area with lots of really cool rock formations. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. How do you get your hands on these inexpensive tickets without the timeshare presentation? You'll find in Branson, all over Branson, you're going to find, 2-for-1 tickets, discount tickets, best prices in Branson. But here's what you need to know. Almost all of them are wanting you to sign up for a short timeshare presentation. And if you don't want to put yourself through a timeshare presentation, if you don't want to take the time out of the fun you can be having in Branson, the hot ticket for tickets is called the Purple House. And you can Google the Purple House to get the exact location of it. It used to be just one, and now there is a second location. One of them, the newer one, is located across the street from the Reza Theater. The other one is at the far end of kind of like the Branson Strip, which you'll know when you're there. It's across the street from the Veterans Memorial that is there. What I love about the Purple House, in addition to the fact that they're giving you incredible discounts and there is absolutely no obligation for a timeshare presentation. It won't even come up in the conversation. They're just going to give you discount tickets. But what I also love about them is how knowledgeable the people working at the counter are. The woman that we were talking with, she first of all started off just asking us questions. What do you want to see? Do you like lights and fire and action and smoke? Do you want high energy? Do you just want some good quality music? Do you want comedy? Do you want magic? She asked us all those questions, and then she takes out a scheduler, and I'll put a copy of that here. She'll highlight the things that you want to see, and then she'll start to piece it together, because here's the thing, not all of the shows are happening every night of the week. So it's not like you can just say, I'm going to do these 8 shows and then go see them. You have to kind of piece it together. This person performs on this day. This person performs on that day. This person performs twice. You're already going to be here, so we can do this other one. And they'll help you piece together your schedule. They'll spend as much time as you need helping you piece that together. Once you finally have your schedule all done, and by the way, it's not just the shows. It's tickets for the amusement park. It's tickets for a lot of the interactive museums, the Ripley's, believe it or not, a lot of those interactive museums, just a variety of things. A lot of the stuff that you can do in Branson, there's very few, I would say there's very few things that you can't get a discount ticket for. So before you start planning out your activities, before you start having your fun, I highly recommend going to the Purple House and just chat with them about how you can make the best, most effective use of your time and save a ton of money. So here's how much we saved. We saw 8 shows: comedy, variety, musical, and the Magicians. 8 theater type shows, plus the Copperhead Mountain roller coaster ride. And our total for all of those was $445 for 2 people. $445 to go to 8 shows, plus an incredible downhill, exciting attraction for $445, which means we also saved that amount. And I'm telling you, I've been to Vegas many times. There's no way you can see that much entertainment for that little. So I highly recommend the Purple House. Save that 50%, and it makes Branson one of the least expensive places that you can have a fun-filled vacation for the whole family. Hopefully you've gotten some value from this video. Feel free to drop in the comments if you've seen any of these shows that I've seen, and whether you agree with my opinion or you have a different opinion of it, put it in the comments. That way those who are watching will be able to get another perspective on any of the shows that they might be considering. If there's something I haven't mentioned here that you've seen, also please put that in the comments, because I will be going back to Branson and I would love to know what else to see next time I am there. I appreciate you following along on my journeys. If you want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. Like this video, leave any questions or comments below, and I wish you an absolutely wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video.